Are you thinking about moving to Fredericksburg, but you're unsure of the area that you want to look at? A couple weeks ago, I did a video kind of breaking down the main areas around Fredericksburg, but today we're going to be diving into more of like that first-time home buyer or just really more budget-friendly options. Now, we've talked about it before. 95 is the main corridor that goes up and down the East Coast, and it goes right through the heart of Fredericksburg City. And every mile you go north, closer to DC and Northern Virginia, it just gets more expensive. Like, there's no way around it. You can track probably per dollar the further you go up. So we're gonna look on the outskirts of Fredericksburg and see what could be a good option for you with a limited budget and still get the house that you want. My name is Quann. I'm an associate broker here in the area, and I've helped countless families find budget-friendly options. Being a younger realtor, I've helped a lot of first-time home buyers buy their first houses. It started with people I knew, and then it kind of just grew into that referral base, knowing that I'm just a younger realtor. So let's get into it. All right. So looking at our screen, that's where I'm at, Spotsylvania County, Fredericksburg City, which we've talked about again in the past. But if we come just south, we have Thornburg. Our next 95 exit would be Ladysmith. And that's kind of where Caroline County starts, right in the border of that. But it does go further east. One thing I want to point out real quick is that pretty much Caroline County, the whole eastern side of this area is a gigantic military base called Fort Walker. It used to be called AP Hill. And it's just a big area for training zone for, I think, all branches in the military. It's an Army base, but I think a majority of our government and military do some sort of training there. So let's talk about the stats of Caroline County. Caroline County has about 31,000 people compared to Spotsylvania, which is just north, out of about 140,000 people. So it's less dense for sure. Again, a good part of it made up of that military base, but we do have some areas to point out. Now, if you're looking at Caroline, there's not a whole lot. There's a couple of different areas that you can tell that are kind of grown up, but you go out here, you're really just rural. You're thinking about state roads. There's driveways off these state roads. There's going to be houses they could range from an acre lot to say 15 acre lot or 100 acre lot. There's a farm listed right now with 600 acres on the market for $2 million if you guys would like to look at it. But that's not what this video is for. Now, Bowling Green's a cool little town, so we're going to check him out first. It's a historic town, originally Civil War time frame, something like that. The railroad came through Bowling Green, so that's how Bowling Green got known and kind of built up from there. There was a notable horse that came from here, Secretariat. They made a movie on it, I think with Tobey Maguire, I don't know. But it won the Triple Crown, which I guess is a big thing in horse people. But it was a cool movie, and it was cool that it came from Bowling Green, Virginia. Yeah, but Bowling Green is just that typical, very small town. They have a couple cool festivals that you guys can go to and check out. But for the most part, not a whole lot going on here. But it is like one of the main centers, say, in Caroline County. There's really like 4 big neighborhoods: Ladysmith Village, Lake Landor, Lake Caroline, and Pendleton, that are all right through here. These are big gated communities with HOAs and that kind of stuff. There is Pendleton Golf Course. All the lake communities obviously have lakes in them. When you think of Caroline County, this is kind of like the hustle and bustle of Caroline County. You have these 4 huge communities, which all have thousands of houses in them. And then you have Ladysmith, which is the exit for 95 right here. And that is growing up a little bit too. They've expanded the road a good amount, and they've brought in some other things like Sheetz, which is a big gas station around here. I think a couple other retail shops are going here. I'm just not aware of them just yet. Unfortunately, all these communities are gated, so Google Maps cannot get in there. But if you think on average, sales price is, on average in Caroline County, sales price is about $375. And I would say that would hold true for these neighborhoods. So when you're looking at Stafford and Spotsylvania, the average sales prices range anywhere between $460 and say $510. So just going further south another 10 minutes, you can get into the $375 range, which goes a lot further on your monthly payment and your budgeting. Another cool town to point out too is Port Royal. I always really liked it. I listed a house there years ago. It was my first video ever I did, and it never made it to YouTube because I didn't have YouTube, but I did it for Facebook. And Port Royal is a really cool historic town on the Rappahannock River that you guys can check out. It's definitely just a cool place to be. Not anything going on there. In fact, they just got their first gas station, big gas station. But Horns is there. There's a museum, and it's right on the river. There's a little restaurant that actually has a boat ramp, and you can launch your boat from there. Just a cool place. Jumping just north and east of Caroline County is another one that we should check out, which is Westmoreland County. Westmoreland County is going to be our biggest bang for our buck when I'm thinking of Fredericksburg real estate. You start getting further out, you're talking about an hour and a half or an hour to just get back to Fredericksburg. And then if you're commuting or anything like that, it gets a little crazy. So something to point out, this is called the Northern Neck. This thing where you have the Rappahannock on one side and you have the Potomac River, and it all dumps out here at the Chesapeake Bay. That's the Northern Neck, and then this is the Middle Neck. Both these areas are very rural, not a whole lot going on, but if you like a slow pace of life, like this is a place to be. Like just farmland, flat farmland, and like tidal river watermen sort of experience, crabbers, fishermen, that kind of stuff, and farmers. Cool area. They all have their own little towns that you could dive into, like Kilmarnock, Warsaw, Tappahannock, Urbana, Deltaville. Like all these have their own little historic towns that are really cool, but not something we're going to get into today on this video. A couple things I want to point out here is Ingleside Winery right here. I think it's the third oldest winery in Virginia. They have grapevines that are over 50 years old. Really cool place. They have a lot of great wines. A good place to check out if you're in the area. Colonial Beach. Again, I've done a video on Colonial Beach. Really cool town. It is an independent town, so it does have its taxes on top of Westmoreland. Let's see if our little guy can do anything cool here. I got my little guy here in Colonial Beach. There is the town pier. There is public beach. I think it's pay to park. I don't want to lie there. But there's a couple cool little restaurants and things to do here. They have some new age condos, which is something new that's kind of coming to Colonial Beach. Colonial Beach is a golf cart town, so you can drive your golf cart around here. I'm assuming if you're like a resident. But yeah, as you can see, everything on the left-hand side is still public beach. And you have these cool little houses. Some are very old. Some of them are historic and actually have some historic value there. We're not going to get into every one of them today, but cool little beach town. River town, whatever you want to call it, and the Potomac River is right there. So actually everything in the Potomac is actually considered Maryland. So in Virginia, you can't gamble, but there is a restaurant down here called the Riverboat, and it's actually over the river, so you can gamble in there and not in Virginia. It's pretty neat. Let's talk about the stats. Westmoreland is, again, you have its little pockets where it's got some stuff going on, but for the most part, it's pretty rural. There are some big neighborhoods out there that you guys can check out, but for the most part, it has about 20,000 people throughout the whole county. And the average sales price, and this is why I think it's the most bang for the buck, is $339. With our area being around 450 to 510, just 30 minutes west, you can go out here and get a pretty good house for, say, $330. Westmoreland State Park is another really cool place that you guys should check out if you're in town. Just a beautiful area overlooking the Potomac. A couple notable people that were in Westmoreland or lived in Westmoreland: George Washington, first president; James Monroe, our fifth president. And then you also have Robert E. Lee, who was the Confederate Army general. His home place is there in Westmoreland as well. All right, and then our last county that we're going to look at, a little bit higher price point, but still under our median for our area, is Orange County. Orange County's got about 40,000 people throughout the whole county. Average sales price $425. So it's still $25,000 to $75,000 under our median sales price here in the heart of Fredericksburg. But you want to just go out just a little bit west, place to be. Now, Orange County is pretty cool because a lot of Civil War significance here, but also you can start seeing the view of the Blue Ridge Mountain, which is just beautiful. And so a lot of these roads, you can kind of see the Blue Ridge off in the distance, which is, it's just cool. I always like the mountains, of course. That's why I like Fredericksburg. I can be at the ocean and in the mountains within an hour to 2 hours. Again, a rural area. There are some areas that have kind of blown up. This Route 3 corridor, for instance, Lake of the Woods is a gigantic community. Thousands of houses, golf course, pools, lake, of course. But you also have some businesses around here. If I can search in, don't look at the McDonald's, but there's Taco Bell. There's a couple restaurants there, I promise, that actually have some pretty good eats. There's also another golf course right up the road at this area. We also have a Walmart here. And a really cool town to check out is Culpeper, which we're not going to do a video on today, but when me and my wife go on date nights, usually we're heading out to Culpeper. Historic town, really good eats there too, just like Fredericksburg. Now in this area right here, we have 20 that runs up from Route 3 into the town of Orange. Orange being, again, I hate like I keep saying historic, but everything kind of around here is historic in some part. But Orange, the city of Orange, is another little area that you can check out. Let's check it out. And it's got things to do. So it's got, you know, shopping and that kind of stuff. Everything you would need to live here by any means, but definitely not major shopping like you would have in, say, Fredericksburg. Barboursville Winery's here. It's one of the best in the state as well. Cool area, and it actually touches Lake Anna. So Lake Anna goes into 4 different counties, Orange being the top one. And so it's a big county and a little bit higher price point, but I think it's because you're really close to that edge. And you're really close to that edge of, say, Fredericksburg. Just a cool place to check out. These are like my 3 top budget friendly areas to check out if you're a first time home buyer, or maybe you just want a better budget friendly area. As I've said it before, Fredericksburg and the surrounding areas really offer a little bit of everything. You can literally buy something in the 300s to the multi-millions, depending on where you would like to be at. And so with that being said, if you guys have any questions and want to reach out, I can help you narrow down these areas. Feel free. I'm here. You can book a link with me or give me a phone call. As always, I really appreciate you guys watching this, and I'll see you on the next one.